1582–100 Onika. After Hideyoshi departed from the capital, someone orchestrated a massive tournament for Ronin with Onika all across the land. Many gathered over the course of a few days, eager to earn fame, fortune and employment with a notable samurai clan. 89 Ronin with Onika arrived. The man who arranged this meeting had been in attendance from the start. He had been kneeling at 3 graves, one of which was a woman of the Ashikaga clan. The grave read as such, an executed thief of noble blood. As he started to walk towards the restless combatants, he looked back at the grave and said, "Soon I will erase this world. From its ashes I'll create a new one. In this new world fate and Onika will have no place and we can at last enjoy peace." This man wore a massive sword on his back. He wore a dark hooded cloak. His hands and feet were wrapped in bandages. He wore the mask of Onikage with one black eye, one light purple eye and the third eye of Onikage. He was called the Burned Man by many. A crane landed near him and took the shape of a man. "Why have you arranged this gathering?" The Burned Man responded, "Because I now have this mask and 3 powerful eyes. I want to add to my collection. Now that the world is in chaos, I can do so unhindered." The Hand of Fate asked him, "Is that why you organized the murder of Nobunaga?" The Burned Man laughed, "His death was inevitable, I just helped move it along. But yes, I need to collect every single Onika. This will be a massive boost to my collection." The Hand asked, "If you are collecting Onika, why did you abandon the Onikage and Kamikaze?" The Burned Man looked down. Mitsuhide absorbed them both. "I will admit that wasn't part of my plan. I figured they would kill each other and I would collect both swords, but even so I managed to recover this mask and the Eye of Resurrection. So it wasn't a total loss. My plan is coming together and you are powerless to intervene." The Hand for the first time was visibly upset. "You are a mystery to even me. You reject and ignore fate. Somehow my power has no effect on you, and worst of all, you actively oppose fate. Who are you and why do you do this?" The Burned Man smiled, "I'm no one at all, just a dead man that persists in this cruel world. The reason I do this is to free this world of fate and Onika. I'll gather all the Onika and become Kotoemitsukami, then I will create a new world without fate or Onika. Only in this new world can humanity be free." The Hand was so angered by his response he turned into a crane and flew away. The Burned Man approached the combatants with a wide grin. The wielder on the Namikomu, an Onika which consumes its opponent, approached him. "Hey, are you the one who called us here? How does this tournament work and what is the prize for winning?" The Burned Man laughed and cut his head from his shoulders. "If I win I'll have 100 Onika." He began cutting through the combatants like a person crushing ants. The surprised contenders attempted to fight back. The Juden and Sotokado attempted to pincer attack on him, but he teleported, leading them to shoot and stab each other. Then the Yumi wielder shot a key arrow at him which he evaded and cut them down. The Tiden attempted to blind him with a blackout, but he was still cut down. The Saru and Nico attacked him next, but they were quickly cut down as well. Next the Warui attempted to surrender only to be slaughtered while begging for his life. The Nesu was floating above him thinking he was safe in the air. That's when he heard Kajiki, lightning javelin, before being impaled and electrified. Just the monstrous kaiju entered his trance and ran at him. The Burned Man tossed several other combatants and corpses to distract him, then teleported behind him and decapitated him. He continued to cut down several more Onika. He continued to pummel and slash his opponents. When suddenly all those remaining began to swarm him instead of fighting systematically. He was hit from the left and right. He was stabbed in the shoulder and the knee. He was hit in the head with a tonku, a heavy club. Then he was struck by a fire attack, burning his arms again. This enraged him, then called on the power of Zanji, and his sword was covered and even extended by flames. He ignited the basho, then kicked him in the gut. Then proceeded to cut and burn several more. As he cut down the kappa, he made a vital mistake. As blood erupted from the kappa's chest, it got in his eyes, basically blinding him. Without being able to see, he was unable to teleport. He continued to cut them down, but he was losing energy quickly and unable to teleport. He had one severe weakness: speed. The Denjiki hit him at incredible speed repeatedly. The Joden started to laugh at him, giving away his position, and was promptly cut in half. The Ite prepared to shoot him. But as he pulled back his trigger, his hands were severed. The burned man caught the Ite and shot the Denjiki and several others. But then suddenly he started getting pelted with stones, seeds, and water shuriken. Then he was struck simultaneously by two different club wielders. Then he was hit by more water shuriken and then an electric attack. He made a guess at the Pikapika's location and hit him with a lightning javelin. Then he summoned the Shurnai stone clubs and called out the club wielders, Oki and Omoi. He collided with them in epic fashion, and they couldn't compete with his strength as he crushed them both like insects. He then tossed the clubs at the Shushi and Wani, ending his seed and crocodile problems by cracking both of their skulls. But suddenly he started to choke as the Nenriki choked him with his psychic abilities. He dropped his massive sword but refused to die, so he threw the last of his strength into an uppercut, knocking them out. He grabbed his massive blade while gasping for breath. Then suddenly he was stuck in the back with a huge stone. Then he was kicked in the chest and he was shocked again. Finally he was hit by a powerful wind attack. He then heard an Onika he couldn't identify raised his blade and yelled, "I'll take his head." Not having the strength to fight or the vision to see, he resorted to his last gambit. Kurohitsuji explode. Suddenly a massive explosion blew him up and every Onika near him, leaving smoke and carnage on the scene.